Hey guys, welcome to another GED math lesson. This is going to be for lesson 4 in the Kaplan series 2019. This page 228. I'm going to first off, just because it's something good to know here, is first off show you the answer key for the lesson that we're doing. So this is in case in case you don't understand everything in this lesson or whatever. Basically, we're doing this section, lesson 4, right here, all the way through up to here, pretty much. Okay, so for example, it's going to be all of this here, all that material, and all of this material right here. Okay, so if you need to refer to the answer key, that's what it is right there. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as you can see here, this is practice 4.1. Actually, this is not the first page. Sorry about that. I seem to do that often. Believe that this is the first page here. Yes, it is. Perfect. Okay, so word problems. So to pass the mathematical reasoning test, you will need to solve word problems. These questions are easier to manage if you use a 5-step problem solving process. Okay? So let's see, practice this process with word problems in this book. What is the question asking me to find? Read the problem carefully. State the question in your own words. What information from the problem do I need? Select only the information you need to answer the question. Sometimes there'll be additional information which can be a little confusing, so look out for that. Which operation do I need to perform? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Choose from one of the 4 operations above based on your understanding of the question. What is my solution? Carry out the operation with the numbers you chose in step 2, which is, pardon me, which is select only the information you need to answer the question. Does my answer make sense? Look back to make sure you answered the question. Check your answer. Check that your answer makes sense. Okay, so that's, if you know kind of a bit basics about math, that can be helpful to do. Because if it just, say you add like 100 plus 50, and you get the answer 270, then common sense will tell you something's wrong there because you've added more than another 100 to it. Okay, let's see. So this is pretty good to keep in mind. So when you're reading these story problems, it can get a little confusing, but this is good to remember. So you'll know that you need to add if you need to combine amounts of different sizes. You'll know you need to subtract if you find the difference to find the difference between amounts. Multiply, combine the same amount multiple times. Divide, separate one amount into equal sized groups. And we'll basically go through each of these here. So to cover a sofa, Sophia needs 12 yards of fabric that costs $14 per yard. How many yards does Sophia need for 3 sofas? I recommend maybe you just pause the video before all of these to see if you can figure it out yourself. And if not, I'm going to go ahead and explain what it is. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. Okay, so again, to cover a sofa, Sophia needs 12 yards of fabric that costs $14 per yard. How many yards does Sophia need for 3 sofas? So, as you can see here, there is extra information. And if you were to use this information in your calculation, you'd come to find that you most likely get the answer wrong. So let's examine this closely. To cover a sofa, Sophia needs 12 yards of fabric. That costs $14 per yard. Okay? How many yards does Sophia need for 3 sofas? So can you guess what the extra information is? I'm going to go ahead and tell you. It's the cost. So $14 is unnecessary to find out how much you actually need it. How many yards you actually need. It tells us here to cover a sofa, Sophia needs 12 yards. And she needs to cover 3 sofas. So 1 yard is, sorry, 1 sofa is 12 yards. And we need 3 sofas. So what we would do is we would times 12 by 3. Okay? And then you would get your answer. Let's do this. I'll go ahead and... So 12 times 3. Okay. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. So there's our answer. It would be B, which is 36. So you can go ahead and read this if you like, but it's just explaining exactly what I explained here. Now moving on to the second problem. Let's pull up the second page. Let's pull up the second page here. Okay. So Peter wants, sorry, I'm stretching this out. Peter wants to repaint his 700 square foot apartment. He calculates that he has 3,500 square feet of wall space to paint. He will not paint the floor or ceiling. If each gallon of paint will cover 350 square feet of wall space, how many gallons will Peter need? Okay, so this one, there's extra information as well, so let's try and figure that out. So Peter wants to repaint his 700 square foot apartment. He calculates that he has 3,500 square feet of wall space to paint. So we do need this number because this is how much he needs to paint. Okay? This is additional information we don't need. He will not paint the floor or ceiling. If each gallon of paint will cover 350 square feet of wall space, how many gallons will Peter need? So, basically, there's 2 ways we could do this. One way is impractical, which would be, adding 350 blindly, 350, or multiplying it, 350 by 2, seeing what that gets up to 700. No, so I need to add another one. And add another one and realize that that doesn't go high enough, then you keep, adding another one. That can take you a long time. So for this particular one, the easiest way to do it and the correct way to do it is by dividing. Okay, so let me erase this here. So let's do this. 3,500 divided by the divisor, which is 350. So let's go ahead. 350. It's 350 go into 3? No, it doesn't. So we need to bring in the 5. Does 350 go into 35? No. It's 350 go into 350? Yes. How many times? One time. So 1 times 350 is 350. So bring it down here. Then we will do 350 minus 350 is 0. Does 350 go into 0? No, it doesn't. Does 350 go into, so we'll bring down this 0 here. Does 350 go into 0? No, it doesn't. So there's nothing else we can bring down. So how many times does 350 go into 0? Goes in there 0 times. Okay, so our answer, as you can see here, 10 will be 10. You can actually check that by 350 times 10. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. 0 times 3 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. Let's make this a little larger here. Okay, so this needs to equal up to 3,500. The 10 times 350. So 0 minus 0 is 0. Sorry, 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 5. Sorry. Okay, 3,500. That would be, yeah, so you know that it's 10 times, because 10 times 350 equals 3,500, which is exactly how much we need right up here. Okay, 3,500. Okay, so for family get-together, Daryl wants to be sure that each child gets 2 party favors. The party favors cost $3 each, and there are 11 children coming. How many party favors will Daryl need? So looking for the extra information. Party favors cost $3 each. We don't need to know that they cost $3 each, so you can eliminate that. But we do know that we want each child to have 2 favors, and there are 11 children coming. So what we need to do is, let's see if you can guess it. And if you guessed multiplication, you are correct. So you needed to go 2 times 11. Okay, I'm not going to do the problem because it's quite easy. 2 times 11 equals 22. So your answer will be 22. Alright. That's the main thing about what we're trying to learn today, is how to figure out with the problem solving. Basically how to think about the sentence or paragraph that it's asking you about, so that you do the correct multiplication or addition or subtraction or whatever. So Sarah and Kate live 18 miles apart, and they both work at the same office. If Sarah lives 25 miles from the office and Kate lives 30 miles from the office, how many miles farther from the office does Kate live than Sarah? So the additional information that we do not need is 18 miles. Doesn't matter how far apart they live, because we know right here says Sarah lives 25 miles from the office and Kate lives 30 miles from the office, and it's asking us how many miles farther from the office Kate lives than Sarah. Okay, I'm not going to do this problem, but I'm going to tell you how to do it. So we need to do 30 minus 25. Okay, and we know that 30 minus 25 is 5. Okay, so basically the answer between here will show us the difference, the difference in the distance that Sarah lives than Kate. Okay, so the answer to that one is 5. For question 4, write your answer on the line provided. The Navarro family uses an average of 225 gallons of water per day, 5 gallons of which goes through the family's water filter. The Navarro's water filter can process 450 gallons before it needs to be replaced. After how many days of average water use will the family need to replace their filter? So don't get confused by the average water use, because this is the average water use, 5 gallons of which goes through the family filter. Okay, so looking at additional information, it's this over here, 225 gallons. We don't really need to know that. We only need to know what's going through the filter, because that's what we're trying to see at what point we need to change. So for that, you would see how many days does 5 gallons of water equal to 450 gallons of water. So for that one, you would basically set up a division problem. Okay, so you would set it up. 5 is the divisor. 450, the dividend, since we've already gone through how to do these. Well, maybe I'll just do it anyways. 5 goes into 45. Well, 5 goes into 4. No, it doesn't. So you have to bring in 45. 5 goes into 45 9 times. Okay. 9 times 5 is 45. So 45 minus 45 is 0. Okay. So 5 goes into 0 how many times? 0. So we need to bring down the next number over. See if 5 can go into that. 5 goes into 0 how many times? It does not. There's no more numbers we can bring down, so we're going to go ahead put 0 up here. So the answer is 90. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, so basically you would put 90 right here. Okay. Now, questions 5 and 6 are based on the following information. Joyce owns a beauty salon and she has posted the following information in her salon. Okay, so this is posted information. How many minutes will it take Joyce to give 3 pedicures? So here's a pedicure. It takes her 30 minutes, okay? So if she needs to do 3, you would 3 times 30. Okay, so set it up. You guys know how to set up 3 times 30. Just like that. Do the problem. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 3 is 9. So there's your answer. It'll take her 90 minutes. So that would be D. Okay, next one. How much does a customer pay for the makeover? How much more does a customer pay for the makeover than for the manicure and pedicure combination? So the manicure and pedicure combination is 45. And they asked how much more they pay for the makeover, so that's 60. Okay, so one costs 60, the other one is 45, so we need to subtract 60. Well, we need to subtract 45 from 60. Okay, so 0 minus 5 cannot be done, so we cross that out. Make it a 5. Cross that out, and it is now a 10. 10 minus 5, that's 10 minus 5, 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. So the difference between the two is $15. Okay, so that's your answer. For questions 7 and 8, write your answers on the lines provided. Brandon is planning his part of the local community garden. He has calculated that he can plant 6 seedlings per row, and the garden allots 7 rows for each gardener. What is the maximum number of seedlings Brandon could plant? So there's no extra information here. Saying that in each row he can plant 6 seedlings, and there's 7 rows. So we would multiply that. Okay, 6 times 7 is 42. So go ahead, put 42 right there. Sumaya knits clothes and hats each winter and sells them through a local shop. If Sumaya receives $189 from the sale of her hats and gloves this past winter, and she spent $27 on yarn, how much money did she earn from her knitting? So basically we need to remove, let's see, wonder if there's a way. It's actually my first time using this. In case you're interested, I think it's called Mischief, which is this interesting name for a program for writing. Yeah, mischief free, as you can see up there. Okay, so what we need to do is see the profit she made. So we know she made $189 profit. Okay. I'm not going to say profit. She made 199 total. But, you know, there are expenses, and we need to figure out how much she spent on expenses, which it shows us here. She spent 27 on yarn. So she didn't actually profit 189. That's how much she made. But then if we were to remove what she actually spent to see what her actual profit was, that would be 9 minus 7 is 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. Then 1 minus 0, imaginary 0, is 1. So her profit was $162. Okay, so you can put that right here, $162. Okay, that's it for that page. Let's move on to page 230, which I believe is this page right here. Nope, I believed incorrectly. 230. Let me check here. Yep, this is 230. I know you guys can't see it there, but I'm looking at the actual book. Okay, the word problems on the previous 2 pages involved only one operation to solve. However, on the GED mathematical reasoning test and other tests, you may need to do several math processes to solve a problem. These are called multi-step problems. Okay? When you are working on multi-step problems, there are 2 important ideas to keep in mind. What is the question asking me to find, and did I answer the question? Review this example of a multi-step problem and the problem solving process below. Okay, so To review that, okay, to win a prize, Sarah's daughter has to sell 75 boxes of cookies in 3 days. If she sold 16 boxes on day 1 and 34 boxes on day 2, how many boxes would she need to sell on day 3 to win the prize? Okay, so if she sold 16 on day 1, well, let's just go here because it actually shows us. What is the question asking me to find? The question asks me to find how many boxes Sarah's daughter needs to sell to sell on the 3rd day to make her $75 75 boxes. What information from the problem do I need? I know the total number of boxes she needs to sell 75. Yes, we know that. I know how many boxes she sold on day 1, that was 16, and on day 2, 34. Do I need to do only one operation, or do I need to do more than one? So if the 34 plus 16 equals 75, that would be the only operation that you need to do. So you can go ahead and do that, see if it equals. I could tell by looking at it that it does not equal 75. Do I need to do only one operation, or do I need to do more than one? I can add to find how many boxes Sarah's daughter has sold. So 16 plus 34 is 50. However, that doesn't tell me how many boxes she still needs to sell on day 3. I need to do one more step. What is my solution? So 75 boxes totals 50 boxes. So it equals $75. Oh, sorry, 75 boxes for day 3. The correct answer is 2, right up here, which is 25. So how you would actually get that is, since you know she has 50 boxes, and the total of what you actually need is 75, a simple, so you want to find the difference really between those two numbers, 70 and 50. So, sorry, 75 and 50. So 75 minus, okay, 75, which is the total she needs, minus 50, which is what she already has. Okay, 5 minus 0 is 5. And 7 minus 5 is 2. So that gives you the amount that she needs to get on day 3. So it's maybe a little hard to understand, like why you do subtraction, but just know anytime that you're trying to find the difference between a number, you pretty much need to subtract, and that will be your answer. And as you do it more and more, it'll kind of just start to make more sense to you. So, okay, let's move on to the next page. Which Okay, this is the last and final page for lesson 4. Okay, questions 1 through 3 are based on the information below. Farhana's produce company distributes to several restaurants. The table below shows how many cases of different produce each restaurant ordered from Farhana's company in July. So, here's the table. If Boston lettuce costs $17 per case and romaine lettuce costs $23 per case, how much did Restaurant D spend on lettuce ordered from Farhana in July? So what did she get again? She got Boston. Well, let's see. Restaurant D. If Boston lettuce costs $17, so Restaurant D, Boston lettuce, we see here that Restaurant D purchased 2 Boston lettuces. Okay, so let's calculate that. If they purchased 2 of those, it would be 17 times 2. Okay. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 1 is 2, plus the 1 that we carried over is 3. So we know that they spent $34 dollars on Boston lettuce. Let's see what restaurant D purchased as far as romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce costs 23 per case. How much did the restaurant D spend on lettuce? So romaine lettuce, restaurant D right here, purchased 3 cases of romaine lettuce, which equals $23 per case. So let's do this. 23. Sorry, not the nicest 3. 23. I bought 3. Okay. 23 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 3 is 6. So they spent $69 on romaine lettuce and $34 on Boston lettuce. So let's see what they're asking us to do here. So how much did restaurant D spend on lettuce ordered from Farhana in July? So we'll combine the two. 34 plus 69 equals 4 plus 9 is 13. Carry the 1. Then 3 plus 6 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. Okay, so here's your answer, 103. They spent $103 on lettuce altogether. Let me see if I can clear this whole page real quick. Again, this is my first time using this, so see what that does. Don't believe that does anything. I know that erases. Let me make the pixels on that bigger. Okay, well. It's getting a little messy here. It may get a little confusing. Perfect. Okay. So, next question. Delivery costs $2 per case for the first 5 cases and $1 per case per each additional case of produce. What was Restaurant B's delivery charge in July? So Restaurant B purchased how many cases? 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 2 is 10 plus 2 more is 12 plus 1 is 13. So they purchased 13 cases. Okay, and we know delivery costs $2 per case for the first 5 cases. So for the first 5 cases, they spent $10. Okay, and we know 13 minus 5 is 8. So we have 8 cases left at $1. Okay, because that's what, let's go back here and see. It says, and $1 per case for each additional case of produce. So 10 plus 8, I'm not even going to calculate that for you guys. 10 plus 8 is 18. So we know they spent $18 on delivery, which will be B right there. Okay. Number 3 is if asparagus costs $22 per case and tomatoes cost $15 per case. Which of the following restaurants spent the most on asparagus and tomatoes combined? So let's see which ones purchased the most asparagus first. Okay. Restaurant B purchased 4 asparagus. Since it is the most expensive one, that's kind of why I'm looking at it first. Then we have a close competitor, which is Restaurant A. And unless some of these other ones just purchased a whole bunch of tomatoes, these two are probably going to be it over here. So as we can see, no one really purchased a whole lot of tomatoes. Pretty much the one that purchased the most was Restaurant D, but they only purchased 1 asparagus, which is the more expensive one, so we know that can't be it. Same with this one here. They purchased 3, but 0 asparagus. These guys 3, but only 2 asparagus. So you could possibly consider this one as one of them. But basically how you would figure that out is 2 times 22, because we know asparagus costs $22. So 2 times 22. Well, let me just do this here for you. 2 times 22. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So that's 44 that they spent on asparagus. Tomatoes, how much was that? Tomatoes cost 15 per case, and they bought 3 tomatoes. So 15 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1. Sorry, 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, 45. Add a little brain freeze there. So basically we need to add these two together, the asparagus plus the tomatoes. Okay. See how much they actually spent. 45 plus 44. I'm only going to add this one up for you guys, but you can do the other ones as well if you need. 4 plus 5 is 9. 4 plus 4 is 8. So Restaurant A spent $89 on asparagus and tomatoes. So do the same thing here with Restaurant B and Restaurant E as well, since they purchased. Well, let's see. Restaurant, we already know that it can't be Restaurant E because Restaurant B purchased 4 asparagus and Restaurant E purchased only 3, and they purchased the same amount of tomatoes. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not pretty sure, I am sure that it's Restaurant B. I would just go ahead and pick Restaurant B, but I'll go ahead and do the calculation just to make sure it's not Restaurant A. Okay, 4 times 22, which is asparagus. We already know 2 times 22 is 44 because we did it previously. So let's just gonna add 44, or let's do this. I could do 44 plus 44 since each of these represents 2 purchases or 2 cases. I will, however, just times it. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. So I have not added the tomatoes yet, and I can already see that 88 Restaurant B has purchased $1 less just in asparagus than Restaurant A has in asparagus and tomatoes. And with my 1 case of tomatoes, which is $17, it will be more than 89. So I know it's Restaurant B. So Restaurant B right there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, now answer 4. At a certain store, Loose leaf paper comes only in packages of 400 sheets. If a student buys enough paper at this store to fill 3 binders with 150 sheets of paper each, how many sheets will be left over? So let's do this. So for this we need to see, that's a multi-step problem right there. For that we need to see, okay, he needs 150 per binder and he has 3 binders, so we will 3 times 150. Okay? 150 times 3. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. We can only use one place value though, so carry the 1, put the 5 here. 3 times 1 is 3, plus the 1 is 4. So if one package has 400 sheets, we know that won't be enough because we need 450, okay? So it's asking how many sheets will be left over. So if we need to buy 2 packs of 400 sheets, we know that's 800. And we need, for the 3 binders, 450. So we'll do 800, since we need 2 packages. And then we will subtract the amount that we're actually going to require. Then the difference between that will be how much will be left over. So let's do this. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 5 doesn't work, so we'll make this a 7. Borrow 1 from the 8, make it 7. Then we make this a 10. I used to do it like this, just add a 1 here and know that this is the 0 for the 1. These days they kind of just do it like this, write the whole thing here, but so yeah, we'll just stick with that. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 4 is 3. So we have 350 left. So as you can see here, that's an option, 350, so that'll be your answer. So again, what you're trying to find is the difference between how much you will be required to purchase. Your purchase will be 2 packages, which equal 800 sheets, but you will use only 450 of those. So you're trying to find out what is left over, and that's what that calculation does. Number 5, 3 friends are baking cupcakes for a bake sale. Each batch of 24 cupcakes requires 2 cups of flour. The friends have a single 5-pound bag of flour that contains 19 cups of flour. How many whole batches of cupcakes can they bake? So where's the additional information? Let's read this slowly. So 3 friends are baking cupcakes for a bake sale. Each batch of 24 cupcakes requires 2 cups of flour. Okay, so we know that to make 24 cupcakes it takes 2 cups of flour. The friends have a single 5-pound bag of flour that contains 19 cups of flour. How many whole batches of cupcakes can they bake? So we need to see with these 19 cups here, how many batches can we actually make. So we know it takes 2 cups to make a batch, which a batch equals 24 cupcakes, but we have 19 cups of flour. So how many times can 19 be divided evenly, or can be divided into 2? Okay, so remember it does ask for even batches. How many whole batches? So can't be a partial batch. So we have to go 2 goes into 19. Does 2 go into 1? No, it doesn't. 2 go into 19? Yes, it does. How many times? Well, I know 2 times 9 is 18. If I were to go 2 times 10, that would be 20. So we would have to, we would put 9 here. Okay. So 9 times 2 is 18. 9 minus 8 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, obviously. And can 2 go into 1? No, it cannot. So we can't further reduce this. So we have a remainder of 1. Okay. So the remainder of 1 really doesn't matter because we can't make a whole batch with 1 cup of flour. Has to have 2 cups of flour per batch. So we can get 9. We can get 9 cups of. We can get 9 batches out of the 9 2-cup batches out of this 19 number. Okay, so that is your answer, 9 right here. Okay, so this number 6, a certain health insurance plan costs $3,000 per year for the family of 6. If each member of the family has $750 in medical expenses in a year and the plan pays 100% of those expenses, how much will the family save by purchasing the plan? So what we're trying to do here is we know that the cost is $300. Okay, now if there are 6 members paying 750, or if there are 6 members paying 750, would it be cheaper to get to pay for the whole year, or would it be cheaper if they just individually paid 750 or collectively paid 750? So let's see which one is less expensive. How do we do that? Well, if each member of the family pays 750 in medical expenses in a year, so let's do that. There's 6 members. So we times 6 members by $750. 750. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 7 is 42. Plus 3 is 45. So if they didn't have insurance and all 6 of them paid $750, that would cost them $4,500. But since they do have insurance, they only pay $3,000, and they only pay $3,000, and that $3,000 covers the 100%, which means covers all that $4,500. So how much are they actually saving by paying $3,000? Well, let's see. It would cost them $4,500 if they didn't have insurance. Since they do have insurance, it is only $3,000. So we need to see what the difference is between these two to know what they're actually saving. Okay. So 0 minus 0, as we all know, is 18. Just joking. 0. 0 minus 0, not 18. 0. 5 minus 0 is 5, because we didn't take anything away from 5. 4 minus 3 is 1. So that leaves you with a remainder of $1,500. So they are saving $1,500 by buying insurance. So your answer would be A. Okay. Alright, well, that is the end of lesson 4, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Maybe not enjoy it because, who enjoys preparing for exams? Maybe some people do, but I hope it was helpful. If it was, please go ahead and subscribe because I'm doing a whole series. There'll be many more videos coming out. And like it. And if you know anybody else that is doing the GED, share it with them. Thank you very much.